Hey everybody, this is Okinawa here, and today I'm gonna review the new Netflix anime series, Beastars. But before I get into the whole review, I want to take a moment to talk about, the obvious elephant in the room, which is the coronavirus outbreak or COVID-19 outbreak and or pandemic that's been spreading all over the world. I just want to let you know that don't freak out, don't worry about it, I won't say don't worry about it, like, don't freak out, don't panic. Uh, if you follow basic common sense and all the guidelines of your state and various government laws and wash your hands and follow the rules that, the people who are in charge are set out for you, um, you'll be fine. Always practice social distancing when it comes to things like this. Also, when it comes to like actual going outside, always wash your hands before and after you go out of place. Wash your hands for like 20 seconds at best. Uh, like sing a Lizzo song or a first part of a Lizzo song just to be sure, or whatever first part of a song you like to keep mind how long you're supposed to wash your hands. And yeah, so other than that, I'm here to tell you that we're all in this together. um, we're all fighting this together, and we're all basically we'll all will do our part, and we all should do our part to chip in and help out each other as best way we can with these very uncertain and very troublesome and yeah, very problematic times we're living in right now. So, and in case you're wondering what about me personally, am I affected or not? No, I'm not. Um, don't have any symptoms, not feeling sick, so I'm fine. My family's fine. In case you worry about my health specifically, because I haven't posted a video in over a week, yeah, I'm telling you, I'm fine. I'm healthy. My mom's healthy. My dad's healthy. All my relatives are healthy. I'm just really lazy when it comes to posting videos. So that's what I've been doing for the past week, just being lazy. So, yeah. It's, usually, I believe Occam's razor is like the actual thing where the actual law that says usually the most simplest outcome is usually the most correct. So that's kind of the reason why. Anyways, getting back to the whole Beastars review. Beastars is basically an anime series based on a manga series of the same name that came out a couple of years ago, around, say, I want to say 2016, 2017. I could be wrong about that. But it's set in an alternate world where anthropomorphic animals exist, and it takes place specifically in Cheriton High School in Japan. Yeah, a high school in Japan called Cheriton. Who knew? But yeah, basically in this world, there's a huge racial divide between carnivorous animals and herbivores. Yeah, you get the idea. And more or less, carnivores and herbivores are basically class divides, and more or less people racial tensions sort of clash in this high school. And a lot of herbivores view the carnivore students as monsters, and and basically the carnivore students probably view the herbivores as prey. So in this high school, there's a drama department where basically the main cast is set in, and more or less we have the stagehand Lugosi, who is this gray wolf, tall motherfucker, high school student, like 6'4", a wolf guy, and he basically works as the stagehand for the theater department and for drama club and stuff. And more or less, his whole thing is that one night, basically one of his friends named Tim, a alpaca student, got devoured by a carnivore student. So, in case you're wondering, carnivores and herbivores aren't allowed to eat each other. So basically, that's a huge taboo, much like cannibalism is in our real life is a taboo. So yeah, someone ate another student in this show, and everybody's like, "Oh man, Tim literally just got eaten! Holy crap!" So literally, it's like I consider like almost like a school shooting, almost in terms of severity of how much this is affecting people. So, or actual murder. So there's that. So there's also the whole thing of the mystery between Tim's death, and then Lugosi, his best friend, is like, man, I gotta figure out who this guy is. So, or rather, who's behind it? Which carnivore student is behind the murder? So it's kind of like an era of mystery with it. So other than that, there's also the thing is the whole mystery plot is put in the back burner as of now of the season, where we also feature, which is also gonna be focused more on Lugosi's budding and evolving, ever-evolving relationship and or romance with a bunny girl named a white rabbit student named Haru, who's part of the gardening club, and she's basically a year older than him and stuff too, but she's like really short. She's a dwarf rabbit, okay, apparently, which is kind of odd because this series also features both domesticated and wild animals living in the same space, even like apes, like mandrills and stuff, as one of the teachers. But yeah, yeah. Basically, Lugosi, when they first met, he was standing outside doing some a favor for one of his classmates. He saw Haru walking down the courtyard, and yeah, because the thing about carnivores in this series is that they're trying to act civilized, but more or less some students like Lugosi have a hard time channeling and sort of repressing their carnivorous instincts. So for the most part, on the first meeting, Lugosi almost ate Haru. Yeah, like almost devoured her, like pounced on her like a wolf, and like a normal wolf would do with a rabbit, and more or less ate her. But he didn't. He almost did. Which eats him away inside, and basically like, holy crap, what if she finds out? What if we meet again, and what if she finds out I almost ate her? Holy crap. Like, he's worried sick about this until he actually meets Haru while doing another favor for the drama club, and more or less like, shit, what am I supposed to do? What do? Haru doesn't remember it because apparently she kind of repressed that memory. Apparently. Spoilers, but I'm not going to say anything else. But yeah. She more or less is like, oh, you're from the drama club, right? Yep. And more or less, Haru's whole character is that literally because of the fact that she is a dwarf rabbit with snow white fur and everybody just calls her when she was growing up, like everybody's like treating her like a fine china or like a porcelain like doll for the most part for most of her life. She always feels like she has no agency in life. She's always gonna be the plaything or the prey of some other person in life. So in order to empower herself and take charge of her own actions as a rabbit and as a woman, she more or less, quote unquote, in terms of, you know, her own sort of self-worth and her actions, and if you actually ask one of the students, she literally became, well, promiscuous, let's just say that. And people constantly slut-shaming her for it. All because she's a little bit more proactive in her approach when it comes to romance and sexual actions and stuff. It's kind of like how, it's very much like how, you know how, it's kind of like that double standard of when men sleep around with a bunch of girls, he's considered a player. But when a woman sleeps around with a bunch of guys, she's considered a slut. You know, that double standard, that whole double standard here. It's very much the same thing with her. She's a very nice person, a very proactive, a very confident person, for the most part. It's just that literally the way she's go about, you know, doing, showcasing her independence and sort of self-reliance and stuff is that a lot of people view it as just her being a, well, kinky little slut, essentially. And a lot of people, especially all the mean girls on her side of the school, because there's divide between herbivores and carnivores and students living in separate dorms. Yeah, all the girls hate her because either she slept with most of their boyfriends or is about to sleep with one of their boyfriends. And one specifically is a Harlequin rabbit that's like, you slept with one of my boyfriends, so I'm gonna make your life a living hell. Like, she literally, during one of the first few episodes, threw out her bed off the window, and she has to drag her mattress all the way up a flight of stairs to, like, the 3rd or 4th floor to her dorm. And her squirrel friend didn't do shit because she doesn't want to get teased, too. So, and also that's her roommate, too. So I was like, wow. You were no help. But yeah. So this basically, this series basically has a very Zootopia feel where it has a divide between herbivores and carnivores and how this world functions as a society where these two types of animals coexist with each other, and how overall how the school functions and how this society of animals, animal people works within this whole world of anthropomorphic animals. I know that's kind of a weird way of putting it, but yeah. So also, you're probably wondering, like, so if carnivores aren't allowed to eat herbivores and whatnot, how do the carnivores eat without eating meat? Easy. Veggie burgers. No, seriously. They eat soy burgers in this school. While also, as adults, when a carnivore student grows up to be adult and, you know, eventually graduates, they essentially have this sort of black market within the city that the high school set in, where it's right next to this school and almost. And in this black market, you get all the various types of animal meat you want, like deer or like or various other things, or like antelope meat or whatever, any kind of prey you can think of. And mostly, in case you're wondering, is like, wait, don't you have to kill an animal to do that? It's like, no, it's mostly from morgues and doctors. So it's very much like a being human source thing, where the meat is provided by the medical community and funeral homes. I mean, you can't really eat someone legally if they're already dead. If you're an animal, I guess, yeah. It's like, well, he already died, so is Beast putting him in the grave? It's like, yeah, it has elements of being human, Zootopia, and a bunch of other series where it has, like, non-human characters in a humanoid setting, like a city, and human society. Also, the music's great, the animation is CGI, but it's beautiful. And also, all the characters I actually like, because a lot of the characters seem one way, but they're actually another way that makes them more unique and deep, so, and more complex. So this is sort of my whole thing on Beastars, and how, more or less, this is a beautifully made and well-written show, and I can't wait for season 2. And I know I should be more getting to the characters themselves, like Louis, or like some other Lugosi's friends and whatnot, but I'm just gonna let you watch the series for yourselves and see how you like the series, and if the CGI puts you off, okay then. If you like the series, good, that's awesome. So, yeah, this series is a great show that has a lot of heart, a lot of good writing, a lot of good animation, and just an overall well-developed world. The world building is amazing. That's kind of like the best part of this show. So, yeah, this is pretty much my thoughts on Beastars, and yeah, this has been the Okinawa Kids signing off.